Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here, friends. It's going to be a very interesting day today, and I'm really happy because I have things in the shorts end, but that's not the case for many people, and a good portion of my portfolio is still long, so I'm suffering on that end. But let's take a quick look at what's happening today in the headlines, and you'll see that Dow futures fell 800 points. I was watching this yesterday evening. I think I made a video last night because it had dropped almost 4%. But this morning things have all improved a little bit. And we have some circuit breaker events happening. We'll talk about all of that. But the most important thing is that the fear and greed index is at 4. We have hardly seen that in this kind of a level before, maybe yesterday. But it could probably go down to 0 before everything resolves. We never know. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says Trump tariffs will boost inflation, slow and already weakening US economy, and crude oil falls below the rate of around $60 a barrel on tariff-based recession fears. And then we have Bill Ackman coming out and saying that billionaire investors are losing faith in or confidence in Trump. And of course, China is discussing accelerating stimulus to counter Trump tariffs. So those who are dealing in the Chinese market would probably look forward to a nice jump. And then we have news that markets stumble as 3-day sell-off wipes out $9.5 trillion. And traders added to bets on 2025 Fed cuts with risk of emergency move due to all these recessionary fears. So if a rate cut comes in, it's expected to boost the market, and we might need that desperately. And then hedge fund billionaire / Trump's tariffs as route deepens because their billions are going away. So they are concerned. And then on the other end, if you look at the political side of it, over the weekend, there was a hands-off protest across the US, and millions of people had come out. And I think they were protesting against the Doge activities. They were protesting against Social Security being cut and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of resistance out there in the political side. And yet, if you look at Lutnick, he's saying that, you know what, things are the way they are, and no need to worry. And Dan Ives has finally revised his opinion on Tesla, and he has slashed the Tesla share price by around 43%, which means that he has reduced the target to $315 from $550. That said, let's go and have a look at our indices. And today I have world indices out here for you to show first, to show you how deep the impact has been. So first we start with S&P 500, and it ended at 5074.09, down 5.97%. VIX is up right now at 7.02%. Dollar index is down 4.22. And then if you look at Hang Seng index, it was down 13.22%. Toronto Stock Exchange down 4.69%. UK down 4.42%. Nikkei down 7.83%. And the futures market had a circuit breaker event. So the way I understand it is that circuit breaker was triggered in Japan futures and also in Taiwan. So the question then becomes, how much do stocks have to fall before trading is halted and circuit breaker triggers in? So I would like to go into indicators and show you the levels levels that need to be attained in order for a circuit breaker to trigger in S&P 500. So we have the levels. First is level 1, which is at 4,713.89. That's what you see out here. I put a line out here. This line shows exactly where the price has to go for a circuit breaker to be invoked. And once circuit breaker is invoked, the trading will be halted for a period of time. I think it's around 15 minutes for everybody to cool down, and then it will be restarted again. Then we have the level 2, which is at 414.45. And level 3 is at 4059.26, and this is the line I've drawn out here. So if I take this closer, you will see that it's very close to the numbers that are mentioned out here. Today, I think that if you look at the pre-market action, I mean, the futures are already in action, and S&P 500 futures are already below the last support that we had of 5002.25, and they pierced this huge area of support that we had, and they were pushed back again. So right now, if you look at S&P 500 futures, it's at 4994, right? So there is a chance that we may go for that 7% drop level 1. I hope we don't go there, but there's a good chance that we may. Then if you look at the NASDAQ futures, you can see that we have dropped below our support levels. The minor level of support is gone. Then there was another support at 17,172. That's also gone. It has become a resistance. And right now the support in action is 17,016.76. And that is coming from this area. I was going to put a rectangle out here, if you recollect, but I couldn't find the widget. So I put two lines, one for the top out here and one for the top out here and the bottom here. So we are kind of in that area, and if we break down, our next level of support is going to be 16,430.25, which is again a huge area of support in my opinion, and we have already touched this and we were pushed back again. So the chances of coming up here and ending within this area today is pretty high, unless some actions are taken to roll back the tariff. And again, now it seems very difficult to visualize any rollback, because I think it will show weakness of the president. So the president might not want to display any weakness. So they have to find an exit ramp from this, which seems very difficult to see without projecting weakness. And dollar index, it had dropped earlier and it came back up again. And now, right now, today's trade, we can see that we started up higher and then we have come down. So we have been pushed down by this area of resistance. So dollar index is showing that it's coming down. This is not good for US, because with tariffs and a weaker dollar, it's going to be very expensive for US consumers. So that's going to add to political pressure. So they will have to do something to strengthen the dollar again. But I don't know how they're going to manage that. There's a narrow window in which they need the dollar to be strong, and after that they need the dollar to be weak, so that bonds can be refinanced with a lower yield. And I mean, that's the calculation that they have. It's a very tricky maneuver. Let us see how they do it. 10-year yields are were down and they are coming back up again. And I think we have some people joining us. Hot Dog has joined us. Hey, good morning, Hot Dog. And then, yeah, so circuit triggers could happen today. And let's go on to have a look at our other indicators, the actual indicators that we look at every morning. S&P 500, we ended up yesterday, on last trading day at 5,074. And today we have a support at 4967.42. And as I mentioned earlier, we have a trigger circuit breaker trigger at 4718.89. So are we going to go all the way out there? I think the possibilities are there. If you look at the way we have dropped and gapped down and dropped and opened up, I think circuit breaker level 1 trigger is a good possibility today in the absence of any measures from the administration to halt this kind of a carnage. Nasdaq was closed at 17,397.70 yesterday, and this morning our first support is at 17,153.97. Our next support is at 16,445.81. And wow, we have some news from Hot Dog out here, and I don't know if you can see this news, but basically Hot Dog is saying news from Microsoft, they have suspended all negotiation for data center expansion due to AI overcapacity. I think that will also impact me for SMR, so I'll have to dump SMR today. Make sure you check yourself. Okay, I'll check it myself as well before I do any kind of moves. But that would be a scary development on top of what we have out here. Okay, let's go back to our analysis as time is ticking. QQQ pre-market session is already on. It's down 2.68%. So out here, we had a support of 424.70, which we have already breached. So I'm going to mark this red, and this will be our resistance for today. And today in the pre-market session, we are just above this huge area of support, which is from 410.02. Right now we are at 411.60. So I am thinking that we are going to enter this zone today, and this diagonal line of support along with our horizontal support of 385.67 is likely to be in play. So the first level of support I think today is going to be around 387.46, followed by 385.83. I think that things are going to look very wicked today because the administration doesn't seem to send any message of calm at this point of time. But you can see that the VIX has subsided. It is up only 7.20%. Earlier in the day, it was much higher. Even then, we are still at 48.56 on the VIX. This is pretty high compared to recent history. The last time we were higher than this, or anywhere close to this, was on 13th of March 2020. But right now, we also have another high out here of 64.38. This was on 5th of August 2024. Yeah, so the market is going to look very nasty today. Put call ratio is getting bearish. Gold has also dropped a little bit, and I think it's bouncing off this support. Yeah, it did bounce off the support that we had drawn here. So I would expect that gold will start picking up as the panic spreads around. XLP is down 4.23%. I would look forward to see what happens when the market opens out here. And what else do we have here? That's it. Let's go on to look at AI and look at our shares and see where we are going to be. NVIDIA. If data center capacities have been achieved and things are looking bad on that side, then of course NVIDIA chips demand has to fall. So I think Hot Dog, probably the news you have got there is some kind of a fake news which is trying to stir panic. I'll recheck it more than once, and to all our viewers I would say that you recheck this Microsoft data center news for yourself before believing in it. I'm thinking that NVIDIA has got a support at 92.37, and we have broken down below that yesterday. That was the support. Today that's a resistance. And if we have to plot new supports for NVIDIA, I think the next support for us is at 75.63, and in between that I think it's going to fall. And Meta is at 504.73, and pre-market it's at 488.39, down 3.24%. So for us today, our resistance is going to be a minor line of resistance, which is happening to be at 500.24, and our support is going to be at 483.85. And if we fall below this support, I think we have further to fall before we get any kind of support. And let me see if I have to draw that out here, where it would be. So I think we should draw a line of support out here. Let me just adjust this a little bit. Yeah, so this is our line of support. The next support after that, and that's going to be at 452.68. Let's go on to Google. Google is at 144.18 in pre-market action, down 2.41%. And where does that happen to be? Let us see. It's 144.18. So it's somewhere out here. 144. I'm just looking at my cursor. Please bear with me, guys. It's just above this line of support of 144.38. It's just below it. So right now I would mark this one as a resistance at 147.83, and then our support, which was at 144.38, has been breached in the pre-market session, so I'm going to mark it as a resistance. And assuming that we are going to open below that, our next support is going to be around 123.69, and I'm also going to mark another support out here, which is going to be a minor support in my opinion, and I'm going to put it out here and mark this green. So we could find some hesitation at around 132.33, failing which it's going to drop down further. So there's a lot of scope for stocks to drop. And then you look at Amazon. Amazon is down 166.49 in pre-market trades. It's down 2.67%. It's at 166.46 now, which means that it has fallen below this diagonal line of support from the previous bear channel, and the next support for it is going to be 159.34, and after that we have a support at 154.64. Apple is down Apple is down 2.85%. It's at 183.03, and it has got support at 181.95. It has got resistance at 192.19, and the next support is going to be out here at 170.83. If you go to Microsoft, it's one of the stronger shares, but even that has fallen below the diagonal line of support. So our resistance today is going to be 354.75, and our support today is going to be 345.92. Let me see if I can see anything else out here. No, that's about it. And then let's go on to Tesla. We have news from Dan Ives, and Dan Ives is saying that he's downgrading Tesla price from 550 to 315 due to tariffs and CEO Elon Musk's controversial cost-cutting role in Doge. So that's again going to weigh on this stock today. It's already down 5.89% in pre-market trades. It's at 225.43, and we have a support out here. I'm going to make this line a bit thicker. It's at 185.91. That's going to perform the role of a support today. And before that, I think we can see another minor line of support. I would say this is minor support. I can see that somewhere out here, and it's going to be at 211.88. Then you have Oracle, which is down 3.34% in pre-market trades, and we are going to have resistance for it at around 125.96, which is what I marked right now, and it's going to have a support at 116.47. AMD is down 3.88%. Guys, I wish I had held on to my Apple and AMD shorts. I developed cold feet and sold it off, or else I would have been minting today. But that it is what it is. This is going to be the resistance. The diagonal line of support from a previous bear channel is going to be our resistance today at 82.40. Right now we are at 82.11. And our support is going to be 81.45, which I'm confident that it's going to be breached as soon as the market opens. So our next support is going to be 76.45. SMCI is also dropping like a stone. It's down 6% in pre-market trades. It's at 28.02. and we have a support at 26.50, and we have a resistance at 31.04. Broadcom is also dropping. It's dropped 2.93% today, and its support is at 136.86. It's at 142.00 right now, and the resistance is at 159.59. And of course, Palantir is down 7.93% in pre-market trades. Earlier support of 73.34 has now become a resistance, and the new support for it is going to be at 64.14. Just going to make it a little thicker so that you can see. And the next support is going to be 47.68, which marks the gap up position. And then there will be another support. I'm going to just put it out here so that you can see that, because there's a potential for it to drop to there as well. It's at 44.94. These are the two sides of the gap up that we saw. And then we go on to semiconductor ETF, SMH. It's at 4.02% drop. It's at 173.54 this morning. So our support, which was at 180.39, now becomes a resistance. And our next support is going to be out here. I'm just going to adjust this a little bit and mark it green. So our next support is going to be 164.81. And my friends, I'm looking at FNGD. I have loaded up on that on multiple accounts. It's all looking good. My first order of business is to sell all of them and book the profits, and then dollar cost average into it and chase it on the way down, and take some profits at the end of the day or tomorrow morning. So that's my idea. I'm going to be very agile today because the market can snap back at the slightest stimulus, and we got to be careful. And Tempus, I'm just looking at it for hot dog. Tempus has converted the support, which was at 42.90 into a resistance. And for today, the support is at 35.87. Tempus is at 39.55. So that's for you, hot dog. And Celsius Holdings also for hot dog. Celsius Holding is going to find a resistance of 35.24 today. And where is the support for Celsius? I would say the support would be, at least the first line of support is going to be somewhere out here. I'm going to mark this green, and I would say that it's at around 32.00. It's a minor support. And I'm going to now take a look at what's happening in our comment section or chat section. Jorg is saying, what is your big picture of the crisis? Will it lead to negotiations and lower tariffs? Could it be turned into something positive for world economy? Just your assessment. So the way I look at it, I'm a Canadian, I'm sitting in Canada, so I have a Canadian bias to all my interpretations. And I am not a big fan of Trump. So I'm looking at all the negative headlines that we see out here. And I'm also going to quickly get into CNBC website so to show you a comment that really irked me this morning. It was a comment from Lutnick. Just give me a second while I try to. So Commerce Secretary Lutnick says, this was at around 5 p.m. on April 6 yesterday. Commerce Secretary Lutnick doesn't back down in face of market sell-off. The tariffs are coming, he says, at yesterday evening after seeing all the carnage in the market. And then this morning, when I look at the CNBC website, I'm not seeing any positive news of support from the Trump administration. And on the other end, you can also see that Beijing is already starting to do a lot of stimulus for their market, and they also put counter tariffs on US, so they're not going anywhere. And I'm thinking that all of this raises this scope of a war, because China could attack Taiwan, which is where SMCI is there. And with this kind of a belligerent and irresponsible attitude from the US is now looking like a rogue state to a certain extent, because it's not following the norms of the or the agreed terms of engagement. They have reneged on agreed on agreements. In fact, they tried to renege on the NAFTA agreement, which was rebranded as USMCA with Canada and Mexico. And they are fighting with their closest trading partner. And they're giving some flimsy reasons. So China is looking at all of these things, and it says that now is the best time to just go in for Taiwan, because TSMC is out there and they can get the entire technology, and that will be a problem for US. And right now US is not aligned with Europe, so it's all looking very messy, my friend. It's looking like the multipolar world that we were talking about. That India and others were talking about, and the BRICS concept becomes much more coherent, and I think countries will gravitate towards China. So it's looking very bad. Also, if you look at the news reports, Europe is trying to rethink about F-35 purchase, and even Canada is rethinking the F-35 purchase, because the fear now is that with the rogue government in US, the way it is acting right now, in the event of a war, they can't trust the US, because if you recollect, Starlink had been provided to Ukraine to fight Russia, and then in between Elon Musk turned off Starlink. So those kind of things could be done with F-35 and other defense equipment, and maybe resupply may not take place. India faced that kind of a situation during one of the wars. So countries have got good memories, and they are trying to hedge against US right now. So York, to answer you, that's what I am thinking. I would be interested to hear your take also. I think you're in Europe. I would like to hear your take as well, because we are all retail investors. None of us know the best. It's better to share our thoughts. And Hot Dog is saying the source was from TD-Con analyst via Bloomberg. Double check yourself before acting. Oh, don't worry, Hot Dog. Here we are just sharing information out here. Everybody will do their own due diligence. Don't feel bad about it. Let's share information and prepare ourselves best for today. So that's what I have here, my friends. And my morning routine is basically to get up at 6 o'clock and get the tea ready for me and the missus, and feed the dogs and let them out in the backyard. And off late, we have been having a couple of coyotes making their rounds on the other side of my fence. So I have to go out and supervise my tiny dogs so that they don't get eaten as breakfast by these coyotes. And then my wife makes the breakfast before she starts her work. She's got a whole lot of conference calls once she starts the morning at around 8 o'clock. She's always busy until 7 p.m. So I have to go back, have my breakfast, get geared up, and I'm going to start with the pre-market session and probably do some trading in the pre-market itself. I want to book some profits on FNGD, and I have got AV, and I've got SMR. So I want to sell off these stocks and load up on some shorts so that I can recover the big losses that I have made on them. So that's my game plan for today. I wish you guys all the very best, and thanks for joining me in this live stream. It helps a lot. But if you got any advice for me, please plug that in out here. I'm